Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Carol and I appreciate you stopping by. So today we have another fun canning video. It is strawberry season, as you all know, and I found a delicious recipe for strawberry preserves. It is strawberry margarita preserves and it is from the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving. They sound absolutely amazing. I love all the staple things that most of us enjoy canning, but I love finding recipes that tweak things safely and change things up and kick them up just a notch. And I thought that this sounded completely amazing and a great way to use our summer strawberries. So we just need a few ingredients. We need 6 cups of halved hulled strawberries. Many of you asked me the question, should I measure before hulling and cutting them up, or should I measure after? In this case, it is after they are cleaned, stemmed, hulled, and cut in half. So we have 6 cups of strawberries, 2 cups of chopped, cored, peeled tart apples. You need 1/4 cup of lemon juice. I would use bottled lemon juice. You don't necessarily need the lemon juice in preserves for safety as much as you need it for gelling. So bottled lemon juice always has a controlled amount of acidity. So I am recommending you use bottled lemon juice here. It does not say that it has to be bottled in this case. Like I said, it's more of a gelling issue than a safety issue in preserves. We need 4 cups of granulated sugar. I will leave a link because I know someone's going to ask for, can I make this low sugar? I will leave a link in the description box below my video that tells you how to make jams and jellies that are low sugar instead. This is a preserve and we are not going to be using any added pectin, so I just want to point that out. And the other thing you need to know about canning low sugar or no sugar jams, jellies, and preserves is that they do not last as long on your shelf and the color can change slightly as it is sitting on your shelf. So I know some people can't have a lot of sugar and low sugar is an option, but just know those things, they don't last as long and the color is not as vibrant for as long. So just know that. And then the last 3 ingredients that we need, so is the yummy part of this, it's the margarita part of this recipe. We need 1/2 cup of tequila, 1/2 cup of an orange flavored liqueur. As far as orange flavored liqueurs go, you have Grand Marnier. There's also Cointreau. I'm going to be using Cointreau simply because it is a brighter orange flavor than the Grand Marnier. The Grand Marnier is absolutely delicious, but it is a heavier flavor because it's got cognac in it. So I'm going to be using the Cointreau. Like I said, it's a brighter orange flavor, plus Cointreau is often used in making margaritas. So that's what I'm going to be using, but you can use any orange flavored liqueur that you prefer. And then the last ingredient that they suggest, but is totally optional, is 2 tablespoons of strawberry schnapps. I was having trouble finding strawberry schnapps in my area, so I'm not going to add it, and it's just a minimal amount of 2 tablespoons. I think they're just trying to enhance the strawberry flavor here, so if you had any strawberry extract on hand, you could use that instead. So it's going to be really simple, but we do have to cook this for a period of time to get it to thicken and to set. The other thing I wanted to mention is because we are not using any added pectin and we have to cook this for a period of time to get it to gel, there are several ways that you can use to make sure you are at the gel stage. I'm going to be using a candy thermometer and I'm going to cook mine to 220 degrees. So you can use the sheet test, you can use the freezer test, the frozen plate test, and I will leave links in the description box on how to use all 3 methods to make sure that you are at the gelling stage. But I'm going to be using a candy thermometer and I'm going to cook mine to 220 degrees. So I'm going to bring you in close and we're going to get started. All right, here we go, guys. I have my 6 cups of strawberries. To that, we are going to add our 2 cups of chopped apples and 1/4 cup of lemon juice. We're gonna turn our heat to a medium-high and we're gonna bring this to a boil. You wanna make sure you are stirring often. We don't want anything to burn in the bottom of our pan. Okay, Okay, once your berry and apple mixture has come to a boil, your berries will start to release their juices, and you can tell that it's boiling now. We're going to go ahead and add our 4 cups of sugar. And we're going to leave it at a boil until our sugar dissolves. Then we're going to reduce the heat and let it boil gently for about 25 minutes. We want our preserves to start to thicken. Okay guys, once your sugar has dissolved and you have brought everything back up to a boil, we want to reduce our heat just to boil gently for about 25 minutes or until our mixture reaches 220 degrees if you are using a candy thermometer. You want it to maintain a boil, but you want it to be a nice gentle boil. We do not need a hard rolling boil here yet, but we want our mixture to start to thicken up for us. So while that's happening, I'm gonna get my canner and my jars ready. Okay guys, once you have reached the 220 degrees or gel stage, we're gonna remove it from the heat, and we are going to carefully add a 1/2 cup of our tequila, a 1/2 cup of the orange liqueur, and the 2 tablespoons of strawberry schnapps if you're using it. We're going to return it to the heat, and we're going to stir constantly. We're going to bring it up to a hard rolling boil, and we're going to let it boil hard for 5 minutes. Then we are all set for canning. All right, here's our hard boil. We want to do this for 5 minutes, and then we are all set for canning. We are going to be canning in 8-ounce jelly jars, and we are going to be processing for 10 minutes. Alright guys, we are all set for canning. I have 3 quarts of simmering water in the bottom of my steam canner. If you're a water bath canning, you want to make sure you have enough water in your steam canner to cover your jars by at least 1 inch, and it should also be at simmering. We are going to ladle our hot jam into hot 8-ounce jelly jars. Actually, it's not jam, it's preserves. Excuse me for saying so. And we want a 1/4 inch headspace. All right, once you've reached your 1/4 inch headspace, you're going to use a debubbling tool, plastic butter knife, or chopstick to remove your air bubbles. I have misplaced my debubbling tool, so I'm going to use the end of my magnetic thing for your lids that we really don't use anymore because we don't simmer our lids anymore. So it makes a nice debubbling tool. You just want something plastic, not metal, to remove bubbles. If you have very much foam on your jam, you can remove that as well. Once you removed your air bubbles, you're going to take a paper towel dipped in white vinegar to clean your rims. Then we're going to center our lids. And add our bands to fingertip tight. Okay guys, I have my steam canner full. I got 5 8-ounce jars. The recipe said we get 6, but Ball, I have found in my experience, Ball is rarely right in relation to what I get. So I got 5. Anyway, I have my heat up on high, and I'm going to leave it on high until I reach the correct temperature to start my processing time. If you have a steam canner, there's a dial gauge on top that tells you when you're in your green zone, when you can start your processing time. If you are water bath canning, make sure you have enough water to cover your jars by 1 inch. It needs to be at a full rolling boil before you start your processing time. And in either case, you're going to adjust your heat just to maintain the proper temperature or a rolling boil throughout the process. We don't want it boiling too vigorously, but we want to just maintain. So we're going to process for 10 minutes, let them sit for 5, and when we get there, I'll bring you back. Okay guys, we are all done. I processed for 10 minutes and then let them sit for 5. A few things I want to mention. First of all, if you have trouble with preserves and jams without added pectin setting, I really think the thing to do is to use the candy thermometer. Since I started using that method and heating my jam or jam jelly preserve up to 220 degrees, I don't have any problems with that. Marmalades also. It's just a foolproof way of making sure you have gotten to the gel stage. Like I said, I will link all the methods in the description box below so you can use which one's best for you. But candy thermometers are not that expensive, and I think that they are worth it to make sure that your preserves set. The other thing too, in light of full disclosure, this is the first time I made this recipe, and a couple of things that Callie is being noisy back there. She's wanting to play. A couple of things that I noted was the apple. It said to chop your apple, which I did. I would chop it smaller next time. I thought my pieces were kind of on the large side. I wasn't all that happy with the size of them in the preserve. So I really think it could benefit from them being chopped a little bit smaller. So hopefully you guys will give this a try. I really think this is a very decadent recipe and certainly worth the effort. For those of you who like to do gift giving at Christmas time, this one would be fantastic. I really think it is something special. So this one would be great for you to go ahead and can up now, and you can get ahead of the curve for your gift giving at Christmas time. Anyway, hope you'll give it a try. Thanks for coming along with me today, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.